My name is Elaine Watkins, and this is my husband Danny, my son Garrett, and my daughter Sarah. And this is our cancer story. I had determined that I had lumps in my breast on self-examination. We didn't really have insurance, didn't cover it. And my husband told me that they were giving special mammogram treatments for $75, and for that I couldn't afford not to go. So I came to the hospital and had my first mammogram, and they sent me a letter and notified me that they had found something and I needed to go to a second mammogram. This was a spot compression and a ultrasound. After that, they kind of hinted, if you will, that it was not good news. Eventually, I was sent to a breast cancer surgeon, and she looked at it and said we needed to do a biopsy. At this point, I had set up the biopsy and went in that morning, and they turned me away because my insurance didn't cover it. We checked our insurance policy, and it wasn't up to par. But the nice lady at the doctor's office told me that she had called the health department and that there was a program for women with possible, ailments that could seek help. So I drove immediately from the breast surgeons to the health department and filled out some paperwork. And within, I think it was a day or two, I was approved for the biopsy. I rescheduled the biopsy, went and had it done, and within a few days after that, I was told I had breast cancer. Due to the fact that I had breast cancer, I was able to go back to the health department, fill out a little bit more paperwork. But now everything is, I'm now on Women's Medicaid, and everything is paid for now. I don't have to worry, because that is out there, and I wanted to make sure people know that even if you don't have insurance or if you don't have money, there are people out there that can help you, either through your doctor's office or through your local health department. But you can't afford to die. Our insurance actually had a $1,000 cap on it. I actually had lumps in both breasts, and because we didn't have insurance, and quite frankly, I'm a mom, and my kids come first. So when it come to going to the doctors or anything like that, I took care of my children, and I was last. And amazingly enough, the lumps in my right breast left. But I noticed within the last 6 months that there was an increase in size in the lumps in my left breast. And October came in the hospital, and they virtually saved my life. At first, we were trying to decide whether to tell my family. Both my parents are deceased, but I do have several brothers and sisters. So we decided to inform them. And upon doing that and reading on Facebook about prayer chains, and so actually my husband took the first step and put out with, he's Army, retired Army, and he put out with a lot of groups that he's in with the military, and the prayers and the well wishes started pouring in. I mean, it kills me every time, and I have soldiers in Afghanistan praying for me, for my cancer to go away. They're fighting, risking their lives, and they're praying for me. And retired soldiers, and people, and letting me know that their families has gone through it, and got through it. And so I've also had other friends on regular Facebook start prayer chains, and with the thousands of prayers I've gotten, there's absolutely no way I can't beat this. And my children, and our support for both the soldiers and for Locks of Love, we decided to all get our hair cut. And this one wanted to get a buzz cut, but I wouldn't let her. She's in junior high school, so she gave 11 inches. And my son got a buzz cut, and my husband got a buzz cut, and I was pretty vain about my hair for the longest time. It was down a little bit past my waist, And although some very nice people gave me these wigs, this particular one I like a lot, and but I took my hair off also and donated it to the Locks of Love, because I surely wasn't going to let the cancer take it. I would rather give it away. After 6 months of 2 different types of therapies I'll be receiving, then I'll come back here to Jasper, and my breast cancer surgeon will do what she can for me, whether perform a lumpectomy or a mastectomy. After the operation, and then we'll go on regular chemo and maybe radiation. It depends on how well my lymph nodes. When they do the lumpectomy, they'll also take some lymph nodes, and they double check and make sure that there's not any more cancer spreading. But they're pretty sure with what we've got going on that it will kill all the cancer. But just in case, there's always that backup plan to ensure the fact. But like I say, I've got a loving, supportive family beyond who's here on this couch. I've got brothers and sisters praying, and then all our friends, and so many of them, more than I thought I had. You know, I mean, everybody should know, you know, be aware of breast cancer and what can be done for you. But it's not only that I'm looking to put the word out with, it's whether you can afford it or not. You know, you can call your doctor's office, tell them your financial situation. They can refer you to somebody that can help. Even my own family doctor had suggested that if there was no insurance, he would do something himself to ensure that I got to see the right people. And it's been this way with thank God, everyone I have dealt with so far on this is they're overly kind, very helpful, and suggesting of where to go and what to do, including my wigs. I've gone to Alpharetta, to Kathy's Closet, where I was fitted with a wig, which is very nice, a very short brown wig, and then again here in Jasper at FX, and they gave me a brand new beautiful wig my daughter wants after I'm done with it. And hopefully that will be within a year.
But it all started with Piedmont.
Yeah.
You know, Piedmont Hospital hadn't offered that $75 mammogram, she wouldn't have known. Yeah, it's all support
okay.
For her. It's, you know, it's all about her. It's everything that we can do.
And I had a very large bruise and a couple of small incisions right here. And now I have a port. And the reason for a port is to have the chemo injected directly into the port. And a port is just a small disc, maybe the size of a quarter, about a quarter of an inch thick. And it has a very long tail on it, and that feeds into my veins. And I'll be getting my chemo directly into the port. And that way I save my veins, because I've heard that the chemicals can be very hard on your veins, and a lot of people have problems with that. So considering that I'm still 40-something, and with any luck I will have years of more problems, hopefully easier ones to get through, I'd like to save my veins for that. So that's why I have a port, and I'm sure it'll remain there until I'm cancer-free. The first 12 weeks, it's once every 3 weeks, and I believe it's 2 hours. And then for the second set of 12 weeks, it'll be once a week for a 4-hour period. And then once that's done, then we'll probably take another MRI and see how the shrinking, that's what they're hoping to do, is actually it's 2 or 3 lumps in there, and then we're hoping to shrink them down enough that I can have a lumpectomy instead of a mastectomy. And at that point, we'll see. I got a flu shot today to ensure the fact that I don't get sick. From what I understand, if I catch a cold, they will not give me chemo for that until I'm over. In the beginning, besides seeing my family doctor and then sending me to the breast cancer surgeon, from there I met my oncologist. But I also had to go to a GI, and I also had to go to cardiologist. Because at the time when I saw my family doctor and he was running tests on me, my EKG came back with a little hiccup in it. So they thought maybe my heart was bad. So I've since seen a cardiologist and done some testing with them, and my heart is just fine.
Oh, that's good.
Absolutely nothing wrong with my heart. The same with the GI. The troubles that they thought I had there were not. And so the only battle I have, other than weight and age, is cancer. Interested, there's Susan G. Komen. Blocks of Love. You can find places everywhere that you call out, and if you donate the amount of inches that they particularly want half the time, you get your hair cut for free. You should see the pictures of me with my hair stuck in between my fingers, and I'm holding 7 ponytails of hair like this, and they're just, because she cut it about 2 inches away from my head, because she still didn't really think that I knew what I was talking about when I said a buzz cut. She had me turned away from the mirror a little bit, and I told her, I said, let me see. I said, this is the one moment in my life I'm ever going to even come close to looking like Demi Moore. You know, G.I. Jane. It's just going to be my hair. and watching her do it. And I knew I was going to cry. I just knew I was going to cry. But the girl who was cutting my hair, she said it was her younger brother had passed away from cancer. She started crying, and so I couldn't. I had to tell her it was going to be okay. It was all right. When it grows back, I'll come back and you can trim it for me. Won't get it long again, don't worry. It'll be okay. And as she's cutting my hair, she just started crying. So in the end, besides the 24 inches I gave to Lock to Love, there was a pile of hair underneath the chair, still another 2 inches long, laying on the floor. This is 2 weeks, and before you could see my scalp very easily.
Yeah.
And this is just 2 weeks, and it's coming back pretty strong. October 7th. That's the one date that started it all. And it's the one and only date I remember for sure. I can't tell you the day they told me I had cancer. I can't tell you the date when I had my spot checks done, or even the date of the biopsy. I have to pull out a calendar where I wrote it all down.
Here.
But the very first day.
Yeah.
The day I took my first big step. Called up. When's your next available appointment? I've got kids, so I need a morning one. Okay, and that was it. Come in, very nice, very gentle. Explained everything. Nothing scary about it at all. And of course, about the only thing that is uncomfortable really is the machine itself. And it's not painful. I mean, I have cancer lumps, and it didn't bring tears to my eyes. But one thing's for sure. The other thing I'd like to put out there is if there's more women inventors, or if men had to go through putting yourself on one of those machines, I think they would make them better, a little bit more comfortable. But it's worth it. It's definitely worth it for the little bit of discomfort. That's all it was, discomfort.